Hello, team. It is Tuesday, August 21st, and this is our weekly Lunch and Learn. Today's topic, I had a particularly good show this weekend where I went back to some of my very basics for business in general, and then some of my Park Lane basics. And it made me, I feel like we all do this, right? Where you do something for a while and then you get away from it, and then you're like, how did I get away from that? And you get back to it. So I had some Park Lane basics I got back to, and just real basic business basics that I got back to. So that's the topic of today's call, which is how to do the end of your show in such a way that it yields you bookings because you've talked well about the business, the hostess program, and how to yield yourself some recruit leads by presenting enough information about the business. And I just realized that I don't have, oh, they're right here. Okay. Actually, I'm going to grab the whole thing here. Oh, okay. Just wanted to grab one of my clipboards so that I have a 5-star handy. Okay, So to give you a little background on this show that I did on Saturday, I was with, and I gave you guys a brief overview on this, when I commented on it, when I posted about it over the weekend, but just in case you didn't see it or you want to hear the fuller version. So the show I did on Saturday was to call these people regulars would be the understatement of the universe. And the house I was at is a house I've done 7 shows in, I think, by now, because sometimes the friends have it at this girl's house. So I was just at this girl's house on the day I moved into this house. Remember I told you guys I had a show the day I moved? So it was her house. So I was back there again, back with her no air conditioning. Although actually her air conditioning was fixed, so that was good. But anyway, so I always, you always kind of wonder, how am I keeping these people entertained? How am I leaving this show with a booking when it's going to be almost all the same people that I just saw on June 30th, and that I saw previous to that 6 months before and 3 months before and a month before that? I mean, truly, I have to really dig to sometimes, and this time I didn't have to with jewelry because I had tons of jewelry, but when I see these girls at the end of a catalog, sometimes I'll even order older stuff that they don't realize is old, and it'll seem new, just to keep them entertained. So, but I have the new jewelry. The past hostess and told the current hostess, don't cancel. I'll get a few people here for you, and you can do it at my house, which was hugely to my advantage because the original hostess lived in Brooklyn. So this saved me a trip to Brooklyn to stay on the western part of Long Island. Okay, fabulous. So I get there, and my past hostess is there because it's her house. Her daughter is there because it's her mom's house. And then here comes another guest who's a ridiculous regular. A girl came who previously booked and canceled a show. So I'm like, oh God, okay, I don't know if I can get a book. Of course, I want to reschedule her, but will she? I don't know. Then the hostess comes with her 2 daughters. One was a teenager and one was a grown woman. And so now I have my hostess. Okay, so that's it. We're sitting at the dining room table, and we're doing our normal, casual, small show. The kind of show where you sit at a dining room table and you pass trays around and you chit-chat and you eat a deviled egg and then you talk about a necklace. So it was that kind of show. But then I'm like, you know what? Let me spice it up for this group. I have been carrying my hostess-only collection in a roller. I do keep my regular jewelry in trays now and have for a while, but I was getting very lackadaisical with my hostess only. I guess my belief was not strong enough in those pieces. But with this season, now the hostess only pieces are actually a lot more reasonably priced. So I have been bringing it around, and sometimes I've been displaying it, and a couple of shows I brought it in the roller and then forgot to show it. So now I have this bag next to me, and we're getting to the end of the show, and I said, you know what? Just because we're sitting small like this, I haven't done the ticket game with this group in a while. So I said, hey girls, you want to do some prizes? And they were like, ooh, because so many of their shows are so small that sometimes I feel funny doing raffles at small shows because it feels gimmicky when there's only like 4 of them there or whatever, and it feels weird to just give one prize. So that day I decided I am going to do it. So I did do the ticket game. Now, some of you have seen that like more times than you probably care to count. So would you like a review on how I do that real quick, or are we like good with that? It's okay either way. If you want me to do it, I'm happy to do it. Is thumbs up do it, or thumbs up is you got it? You got it. Okay. So that's fine then. So, and I only do the 4 letters. I do B is for booking, F is for fundraiser, P is for payment, O is for opportunity. That's the only 4 letters that I do. So when I did B is for booking, of course we review. I encourage them to take out from, I said at the bottom of your clipboard is actually the little brochure that does show everything, and there's a spot I definitely want you to see. So just take that out for a second. So now they all take this out. And because usually by this point, many of them are wearing assorted thank you pieces. So then I tell them that the first gift you get is that you get to pick one of these pieces from this brochure for $19. And that is many of the pieces you're already wearing right now. And I'll point out which ones they are and how that's a savings automatically of $100 pretty much, you know, right in there. I said, then you get one at every show that's booked from your show as well. So today, Charlena is getting one of these $19 thank yous because Joanna booked from Charlena's show. So all of you that are booking are going to get the one at yours, and then Joanna gets one at yours. But remember how I said, like, how am I definitely leaving a group of regulars with a booking? I did actually a Zoom-in training with Joy Perry and Joy Widgeon and Tamika's rally that they did this Saturday. And I was telling them how, you know, if I have to let someone take off the table to get a show, that's what I'm going to do. Like, I don't ever want to leave a show with no bookings because that just means I close the door on business. So Mary Chirola cracked me up one time when she was like, you know who you never want to be? The last guest at a show that I didn't get a booking yet, because I just want to say straight to their face, you're not leaving until you book a show, because I don't leave without a booking. So we're just going to have to both live here unless you're booking a show. So anyway, I made a real quick executive decision, and I did throw in, and because you're all my favorites, any of you that are booking a show, you will get one today as well. So you get one today, one at your show, one at every show booked from your show. And I already knew Rosalinda was dying for several pieces already at this point, and so was another girl. So I had a feeling that that would really help. Okay, so then of course I went over the rest of the hostess plan. So then when you get to O is for our business opportunity. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. I went over, and then you also get hostess only pieces. These are exclusive pieces that only our hostess can shop. And I really want you ladies to see what these pieces are. So now I am ceremoniously unrolling it. Remember how at convention I talked about handling the unicorn, and I showed you guys that? It's the same thing with the hands and the moving, the opening it slowly. And I said, so if you have been wanting a gorgeous new watch, now they're like this, falling out of their chairs, leaning forward. They were like, what is that? So now I pass this watch around. At one point, somebody goes, what happened to the watch? Somebody's like, I didn't want to pass it. She was still wearing it. So I passed, this is what I have in terms of hostess only. I do have these 3 watches. They were dying one after the next. Then I passed this bracelet. They almost had a nervous breakdown that they wanted this bracelet. I passed this one, which they may have seen before with me, but didn't seem to remember. And then when I brought this one out, there was audible noise. They were like, "Are you kidding me? That is ridiculous. That is beautiful. Oh, that's like a cross between the two best necklaces at Park Lane." Because they were saying it's kind of like blushing, but then it's got the quatrefoils. And, oh, my past hostess was having a stroke about this one. So then I said, so all we have to do is pick a date, and you're going to be able to get these. How much is this at my show? How much is this if I have a... So, like, I guess I'm going to have a show, Michelle. I said, I guess so. And then I just continued on. So I haven't made that big of a deal about the hostess only at a show in quite some time. And it was a good, strong reminder to me that that's a mistake to leave that out. When you make a big deal about it, it was a great reminder, too, about the unveiling. When I first started at Park Lane, I opened every roller like that. And we've since kind of gotten away from that. And I am okay with that because it did take a long time, and people who had to leave early would be annoyed. So I didn't love the full reveal either. But to have most of it out and then do a reveal of these super special pieces was extremely effective, because I got 3 bookings at this party from people, 2 of those, okay, no. I got 4 bookings, okay? 3 of them were guests, and one of them was the girl that rescheduled from when she canceled at the previous show. So I rebooked Trisha, and then 3 more booked, 2 of which have been to 42,000 shows with me, and 1 was a brand new person. And she says to me on the side, "Michelle, I know you said 3 to 5, but like, am I allowed to have more than that? I work in I'm a teacher's assistant, and our school is like family. I can't only have 3 to 5. And so, you know what? Just this one time, I'll make an exception. You can have 30. No, but I was like, of course, you can absolutely have more. And, you know, I just let people know 3 to 5 is totally fine. But if you want more, of course, that's by all means, I would love for you to have more. So I wanted to share that portion with you, because even if you only have 1 or 2 hostess only, it might be the 1 or 2 pieces that they want. I will say the legacy ring, I don't know why I don't have a legacy ring anymore. I think I just must have lost it, because I had one and now I don't have one. So I don't know if I lost it or what happened, but the legacy ring, which is that one that spreads apart but goes back, it's multi-metal. That's a fabulous one to have in your kit. But the watches were really what put the watches, and this new one were the ones that put this particular group over the top. Okay, so that was B is for booking. And remember, when you're doing that, not only did I talk about these pieces of jewelry, but I did also as well talk about the various places they can have it. You know, it can be at your home. We can do a brunch. And don't you know that they booked every different kind of time slot you could have. Somebody booked a Saturday day. Somebody booked a Friday night. Somebody booked a Sunday. They were all over the map because I reminded them of the many options that they had. So then F is for fundraiser. And when you talk about fundraisers, do remember to name lots of things. So my sentence is, if you have a school, team, cause, or organization that's near and dear to your heart, I would love to partner with you to raise money for it. Because sometimes when people think of fundraisers, they only think of like a health issue or something, forgetting that cheerleading teams fundraise, and baseball teams going to Cooperstown fundraise, and competitive dancers. And then I usually go on to even say the next step of, and it doesn't have to be like an official organization. If you have a woman in your neighborhood whose house burnt down and you're just trying to raise money to help her get back on her feet, we can do that. Because remember, we're in control of our fundraising. Yes, to use that brochure, they need to be a 501(c)(3), but I don't even really use that one ever. I would much rather do a normal show, let them shop the sale. The sales will be far higher. I get to meet people. I get to book shows. I get to find recruit leads. I would much rather cut them a check of my commission and just work for less money that night and have the opportunity to meet people. And if that means I'm writing a check for the girl whose house burnt down, then that's what it's going to be. And then letter O is for our business opportunity. So this is, I feel, an excellent little spot to tell your story, because by this point of the show, we hope they love you. We hope that they want to see you again. They want to see the jewelry again. So this is a great time to throw in, and that is when I do mine. You know, when I started this business when my son was 6 months old. I was on maternity leave for my teaching job, and my husband said to me, you know, we pay a Cobra now. We need $600. So I had hosted a home show. The woman told me she made $200. So I figured if I worked 3 shows over the course of a month, I would make $600. I did 3 shows and made $600. My husband said, wow, could you make $1,000? So that's how it's built up over the years. And why now that 6-month-old baby is going to his sophomore year of college, and I am 18 and a half years into my direct sales career. So that's why I bring around my little Life with Parklane album. I realized I didn't show the album the last time I was with this group. I don't know why, but I didn't. And I know that some of you are new to the team and may have never seen this, but this is what I call, this is really my recruiting album, but it's funny that I say my little because it's humongous, but I say my little Life with Parklane album. And I have in here pictures of events like this, which is why I like to take pictures of you girls while I'm here. Because a lot of times, I've taken photos of them, and sometimes I wonder if people think that's weird that the lady they met 2 seconds ago is taking their photo. So I say that's why I like to take pictures of you so that you can make the album. But I have in here, pictures of events like this. We go to conventions and get awards and have a great time. Parklane allows us to earn 2 free vacations every year. So I have pictures in here from the past trips to Punta Cana, Hawaii, New York City executive trip. We went to Zurich, Switzerland. I'm about to leave in 3 weeks for Greece. And do you believe my Zurich pictures are not in here yet? They're still on my phone. That is terrible. And we just started earning a trip to Rome, Italy. So if you were thinking of getting started in this, I could actually get you on track in time to earn this trip as well. So I know you're thinking that's very nice and all, but do you actually make money with Parklane, Michelle? That's why I have a series of checks in the back so that you can see in general what you make when you're doing just a show, and then what also you can add on to your paycheck as you continue to build a team. So if any of that sounds good, you can certainly take a look and you hand it to the person that looks the most interested, like that's looking at you like, ooh, or like you're getting eye contact, or you will hand it to somebody, and I promise you the first thing they do is reopen it to the back and look at the paychecks. That's why you have to go through what's in it, because you want them to know that the paychecks are in the back. And now you do your Q&A. So I'll say, all right, this is your chance to earn unlimited additional tickets. This is your chance to ask me any question about either hosting the showing and getting the free jewelry shopping spree, what Jennifer's doing here today, or my job of selling Parklane jewelry, my job here tonight. Any question on either of those 2 topics gets you an additional ticket. I'm going to set my timer here for a little minute to win it. And sometimes they now start blurting out questions before I even start the timer, and I'm always like, oh, I guess we're started. Okay. And then I answer the first question. So there are people that will only answer business questions in their version of the game, but I see no reason why to not reiterate various things about the Hostess program. So that's why I allow questions on either of those topics. And of course, there's no real timer. I actually set the countdown. I set like the stopwatch so that I can just end the game when I want to end it, not when the iPhone starts making a noise. What if I'm in the middle of like answering the best person's question or it cuts somebody off? I'm not doing that. So, sure enough, here we go with the questions with a group that's been with me. Between all the friends, I would say they've done 7 to 10 jewelry parties with me. And it was one of the best Q&As I've done in a long time, where they had tons of questions, clarifying what they wanted, where could they have the show, when, some business questions. And sure enough, the girl that canceled and rescheduled told me I might use this as my launch party, Michelle. That actually sounds really good. Because she went to my year to date on the one paycheck, and she goes, this is week 50? You made this in a year? She said it 4 times in a row. And she's a teacher. She said, oh my God, I can't even believe what I'm seeing here. I said, I know. I used to be a teacher too. So that's when she said, I think I might use this as a launch party. I think I might want to sell. So that is the best practices, in my opinion, of how to wrap up your show, because then you pick a winner or two depending on how many people there are and how pushy they are. Because I was going to do one prize, and they're like, one prize? We asked all those questions and you give them one prize? I was like, fine. So I gave a second prize. And I totally forgot to pack a prize, by the way. So I had to give away 2 pairs of earrings just right out off my table, right out of my kit, but whatever. So that is what I consider best practice closure. So would anyone like to either ask a question or add or support or say anything at this time?
Michelle, have you or has anybody else used the menu yet at your shows? I'm off to go get it laminated today, actually. But has anybody else tried it yet?
I had sent it out at my last show, but and I had 2 copies of that because Eric had one and I had one from a convention, so I framed them.
Yeah.
And they looked at the party themes instead of looking at that one. So I may need to put them in different places, maybe not by each other. I don't know, but I didn't get a lot of feedback from it. I got more feedback from the themes.
Okay. Which is still fine.
Which is still good.
Yeah. Right.
Jennifer, did that come in the convention packet? I had to have my convention packet mailed to me because I came out of the room so late that they already were done giving it out, and it just came in the mail to me. So tell me.
Yeah, it's a really nice glossy sheet of paper, and it's got themes on one side, and on the other side it has a whole list of menus of the different types of showings that we offer. So anything from, you and 2 all the way to the ultimate experience, which would be using your showing as your launch. So yeah, super. I'm
that
excited.
Was my idea, by the way.
Well, of course it was. I should clarify.
Not the whole thing. I mean, I was in on the whole thing.
I remember that we had talked about it, but I just love that it's on a nice piece of paper. I love the way that it's presented. It's just well done. So yeah.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: the size of that piece of paper. See how I use the little clipboards that are only just slightly larger than the wish list? Is it bigger than that?
Yeah, it's a normal 8.5 by 11. Yeah. So that's why I'm going to laminate it. That way it's easy to pass around and it doesn't get schmutz on it from whatever. And then probably put a ring on it with my 30 and under pieces and have it with those things.
I just thought about that. I just made my folder with them in here, putting that with it in a sheet protector. If that would get better noticed in there.
It would be a great page in your album too, because I know I'm not the only one with an album. So those of you that also have albums, you could put it in there too. You can put it in both spots, honestly. You can't have it be 2 in front of them. And I definitely love the idea of passing it around during the ticket game, because the album is also going around during the Q&A time, and I find that those are things that jar the questions. They'll look at the question, they'll look at my paycheck and ask a question. They'll look at the themes and ask a question. So that's great. All right, we're getting a comment here from T-Roy. She likes your $20 and under folder. So thanks for sharing that, Summer.
Anytime.
The other thing that I was going to mention too about the fundraising and just mentioning that, I was in a room with one of my coworkers who they're in charge of their little football team or whatever, and she was talking to an actual like fundraising organization that does like the school fundraising. You know how they bring in the cookie dough and the popcorn and whatnot. And the people that she was talking to, you know, their football team was too small for that type of a thing. So their shipping charges would be outrageous. And they couldn't do it a quick enough turnaround to be able to accommodate them. So to be creative and for us to be able to offer things on, you know, as small or as big of a scale,
right.
something that we really can brainstorm and offer to people when they are needing things done quickly.
That's awesome. That's a really good point. Prestige and all those big companies won't work with you if you're not big enough.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Can you still do the 2-day shipping on fundraisers to get it here super fast?
I'm almost positive you can. Even if you put it in the comments and ask them to commission adjust it, it should be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Well, this was a lovely afternoon. Thanks so much for joining on. For those that came on later, of course, I did record, and I'm going to repost it, so if you need to watch it from the beginning. So whether you're on live here now or you watched it back later, I'm so glad you took 30 minutes to better your business, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday on the Lunch and Learn, or hopefully next Sunday. Remember, will be part 2 of the Moving On Up class. So I look forward to working with you on that, and I hope that you're all working on that list of who you are contacting for shows and for the business opportunity. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. I learned a lot today.